Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of A Wee Touch of Madness, the video podcast hosted every single week by me, Loz. And now this week, I have a special guest with me. I have Nick from Over the Moon. How you doing, mate?
I'm good, man. I'm happy to be on here. How are you?
Oh, I am living the dream and loving life. What more can you ask for?
Yeah, you're right.
So, Nick, can you tell us a little bit about yourself and the sort of music that you do to the people out there who may not be aware of who you are?
Surely. So, my name is Nick. I am from New York City, Staten Island specifically. Um, I am in a band called Over the Moon, who does I guess you could call it emo pop alternative kind of music. Um, Basically take a combo of any like 2000s radio emo band, and that's what we are.
Emo kind of pop. Right, yeah, okay,
Yeah.
that's one way to put it, I guess. So, if, well, you said that obviously, like from like kind of emo pop, kind of see got what you from the radio and all that. But what are the influences that actually got you into doing music in the first place?
Uh, Interesting you say that. So I was heavily like into metal before I started doing the emo stuff that I'm doing now. As a kid, I always listened to like rap, but I always had that like Linkin Park. Like I was like that one kid that was like, there's always that dude that's like, yeah, I love rock, but it's like Linkin Park, and like that was pretty much it. Like I liked rap and like house music, but then um my cousin actually got me into Escape the Fate. I'm not sure if you know them, but
No, not sure.
okay, so Escape the Fate is kind of like post-hardcore emo-y stuff. Well, their first album. And I was in high school and I was kind of going through a tough time and I got super into metal. And I think I just got into it because um first off I related to the lyrics, and the choruses were so catchy. I thought they were so catchy. So I got super into metal, and um I had a girlfriend at the time, and we broke up, and I needed an outlet to kind of
And that's where the emo
express.
came in, right?
Right,
Yeah.
exactly. So typical, man. So
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 typical emo. Oh, my girlfriend left
yeah,
me. Grr, sad. Write songs now.
dude, I was writing the metal stuff, and I'm just not like a super angry person. So I wrote like one
So
metal
you went
song
so you
about
went from
it.
super angry to super sad.
Yeah, I was just like, I don't know. I couldn't explain it. I kind of wanted to just sing more anyway because I was doing the screaming
Yeah.
and singing it, like metalcore. And I just did one song, and it was like a ballad. And I was just like, oh, I feel like I'm kind of meant to do this instead. And then from there on out, I just wrote a whole album. So that's pretty
And
much
it just
a girl inspired it, I
a
guess you
girl
could say.
inspired it. See, and as I said, what is it, a few weeks ago or last week? I can't remember. I've slept since then, everybody. But if it wasn't for the women in our life, where would we be? How would we get the
You're
motivation to
absolutely,
do what we need to do if it wasn't for those women in our life?
you're so right, man.
So then, with that, you've got a song out called "My Demise." Now we're going to be touching a little bit more on that later. But what was the inspiration behind that song?
Oh, man, I just sound like a sappy bitch right now, man. It
Yes,
was, it was about being friend zoned.
about being.
So
See, I
yeah,
got that. I got
literally.
that hint when I listened to it. I got that hint. It was just like, this is kind of describing my life before I met my wife.
Yeah, so I mean, um, luckily I'm at a point now where I'm just kind of doing me. But I used to be a really emotional dude, where I guess I shouldn't say that. I don't know. So basically, I'll give you the quick backstory. There was this girl that I met in college, and she walked in the room, and I was like, "Wow, this girl is the most beautiful girl ever." And I am normally, I don't really care. I just kind of go up to people, and just I'm so blunt. But with this girl, I couldn't do it, and it ended up biting me in the ass because we became pretty close. But I just couldn't tell her that like I was a, I thought she was beautiful and that I would love to take her out. I couldn't do it. So that's essentially the song was just basically me going back and forth in my head, and
And being a
she
bit of a
was
soppy
kind of
cunt about it.
being
Yeah.
a little bit of a bitch. So
Yeah.
yeah, that's pretty much it. And it's also about her. She was definitely, I think, getting attention from me too, and she was, you know, yeah, giving me hints like so many mixed signals, and it ended up turning me off completely. So
Well, that's a very, very good story. I like that. And I think a lot of people can kind of resonate on the same sort of level with that, like not having the courage to go up to that pretty girl that you've got feelings for and actually saying something and
right,
to try and make it known. I mean, what's the worst they can say? No. What's the worst they can do? Say no. Say yes or no.
that's literally I live by it now, man. Like literally,
Yeah.
I just yeah. Once you get over, I've realized once you get over the fear of rejection, you just don't care. Like you don't care.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
literally it.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Once you get over that fear, you'll be well, I say unstoppable. You'll be able to do so much more stuff.
Completely, man. Completely.
So when you're typically doing your music, can you explain to me what your creative process is like? You know, when you get the idea in your head to when you finally get it written down, produced, and then sent out there to the people.
So, I know that people have their certain ways of doing things, but it's so different every time. Like I'll just be sitting at my job that I do now to support the music, and I'll get an idea in my head. And right now, I substitute teach, so I'll get a melody in my head, and while these kids are there doing their work, I'll be in my voice memo like like doing the melody, you know, and like an idiot.
What the kids are
Yeah,
like then? I was like,
yeah.
sir, what the fuck are you doing?
Some of them know now, and they think it's like so cool. But I haven't told a lot of them just because I don't know. But my process is it's so different every time. I could either be sitting in my room and I'll just think of like I don't know a guitar part and go jot it down and then it turns into a whole song, or it could be the melody first. Where I have an idea with a melody, or it could be I'm feeling a certain way and I just write down lyrics and then I try to fit it to that melody that I had. Does that make any sense? And then work around that.
Yeah, it makes a little bit of sense. I mean, as I'm probably sure that you're aware and everybody else is aware, I've worked with and I talk to a hell of a lot of musicians, artists, and bands. So I'm kind of aware of like the different like little things that everybody does when they're in
Hmm.
that creative process. And as a lot of people know as well, it's like dealing with musicians as well. You're like especially with a lot of them when they get the idea and they're proud of it, you just get bombarded with messages. It's just like, oh, what do you think of this bit? What do you think of this bit? It's like that's just
Right.
that's not a full song yet. That's just a snippet. That's
Yeah.
like 2 seconds. So
Yep. Yep.
how
Yep.
can I pass a judgment on like a 2 second snippet?
No, you're right. You're right. I try so hard now because I used to do that all the time. Where I'm like, tell me what you think. I just try to like, because obviously you're excited to put it out, and
Mm,
like for people to see. Like it takes every ounce of me where I'm like, all right, I'm just gonna wait till it's like done, and then just like let people hear it. It's so
yeah.
hard to do. It's so hard to do.
No, I understand. You're proud. You're proud of what you're doing. You want to get that
Yeah.
feedback. You're like, what do you think of this? What do you think of this? Like a hamster on coffee
Yeah.
when you come to your work.
I'll be the first to admit it. It's nice to get some validation sometimes. And I think anyone who denies that is just a liar. Humans are social creatures, man. I've come to accept it. And sometimes it's nice to get some validation. Maybe I'm different, but
Fuck yeah.
could be different.
Could be different. So what's the
It's nice.
yeah, well, I can well, it is nice to get a bit of validation for what you do. You know, I've been
Mhm.
doing this for a little while now, and it's always nice to like hear people say that they enjoy that the work that I do, and they enjoyed listening to it, or they've enjoyed watching it. They've enjoyed the banter I've had with the guests
Yeah,
and all that.
man.
So I'm like that actually kind of means a lot to me as well.
Yeah, it could touch people like a certain I try to have so many different conversations with so many different people just because you could get like one snippet that
Yeah.
could like change something that you do. You know what I mean?
Well, that's what editing software is for. That's I use that little snippet. I take it out.
Very true.
So, what's the one thing that you know now that you wish you could have told your younger self at the start of your music career?
That's a tough one. To tell you the truth, this is going to be a really boring answer, but I don't think I would tell myself anything. I
No.
feel like everything. No, I think that everything that I've went through with music and life in general, but especially with music, there was so much that I learned from my metal band, like so much. Like
Mm,
it was a lot of just growing up because I started that when I just turned 24 and I started that when I was 17, 18, and like without all those like experiences, I wouldn't have been able to get to, or this is how I feel. I wouldn't have been able to gain the knowledge to get to where I am today. I'm not nearly where I want to be, but I'm like pretty content with where I am. So I don't think I would. You know what? I would just tell myself like, just keep going. Just like
just keep
take
going.
action and keep going. Yeah.
You know what? That has actually got to be probably one of the most honest and deep answers I've had to that question. Most of the answers I get is, "Oh, I wish I focused more on marketing. I wish I focused more on getting content. I wish I didn't sign up to a music academy. I wish I didn't do this. I wish I did this." But to hear like an actual kind of like story behind the answer in a logical, deep, and emotional way as you just done. It's not often that I hear that, so forgive me for saying, but it wasn't a boring answer.
Oh, all right. No, I appreciate that, man. Thank you so much. Means a lot.
You're welcome. So we're going to talk a little bit more about your song "My Demise" now, and you've already kind of given us a little bit of a backstory behind it. You know, being friend zoned.
Listen, it's simple.
So we want to play a little snippet out there for the people. So how long do you reckon we should, let them hear it? Mm,
Oh man.
about a
However,
minute, minute
whatever.
and a half,
I'll tell you. Yeah, do a minute and a half, I guess.
minute and a half. Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Right, everybody. Well, we're going to play a snippet of a minute and 30 seconds of Over the Moon, Nick's song, My Demise, about being friend zoned. We're going to play a minute and a half of it. So let us know what you think of it. Put it down in the comments or whatever. Just let us know what you think. And if you like it, I'll let Nick know, bit of feedback, or you can message Nick directly. So that was my demise, everybody. Let us know what you think down in the comments. So, Nick, can you tell us where can people reach out to you if they want to like drop in and say hi on online, social media?
Sure. So I'm a big I'm barely on Facebook. I'm so bad with that.
Yeah,
I'm a
I know you're
big
barely on Facebook. You mean it
Yeah,
took
I'm
you
sorry,
fucking
man.
months to message me back?
I apologize. I feel like such a dick. Can I
Oh, it's all
curse on
right.
here?
Yes,
I'm
yes,
sorry. I
yes.
apologize.
Fine. The amount of times I say cunt, fuck, shit, bollocks on this show
Book me, mate.
throughout the whole 3 seasons so far is mental.
All right. So yeah, I'm fucking horrible on Facebook, so I apologize. But if you want to reach out to me, my band's Instagram is Over the Moon USA. It's at Over the Moon USA. I will definitely answer you there. I would say that's
Awesome.
the best spot to reach us.
Awesome. And if you didn't catch that there, I will have the links to that down in the description. And if you've watched some of my previous shows, you see that I will have the icon floating somewhere on the screen. It might be there, it might be there, it might be there. Who knows? We'll put it up somewhere. We'll sort all that bit out in post production. It's fine. It's fine. Right, so we are getting to the part of the interview now where I'm going to start asking you some very, very difficult questions. Okay.
Fun, real
Some of
fun.
these questions are going to make you feel uncomfortable. I can guarantee and promise you they are going to make you feel uncomfortable. But don't
I'm ready.
worry. But don't worry. If you do at any point feel uncomfortable, just let me know. Just say
Listen,
so. Just say so.
I
And if you want me to stop, mate, I won't. I'll keep going. until you shit your
I,
pants.
I'm going to, dude. Let me just say, if you can make me feel
You got.
uncomfortable, if you can make me feel uncomfortable,
Hmm.
I will like send you money.
Okay, if I can make
It's
you
very
uncomfortable, you'll
hard.
send me
It's
money.
very hard to make me uncomfortable, man.
Oh,
Very
okay.
hard.
Right. Okay, so are you ready for your first super serious, uncomfortable question?
Yep.
Yep.
Yes, sir.
Which part of the body do you wish you could detach and why?
My my middle toe on my left foot.
Okay, why?
I feel like it's useless.
You feel okay, okay, I have to what's your reasoning behind that? Why do you think it's useless?
I don't know. Now I'm picturing my toes. I feel like it would look like halfway okay with four. I mean, toes are weird anyway. Like I feel like it would look like not horrible with four toes, right? I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong.
Okay, you've made me feel a little bit uncomfortable. Oh,
I mean,
fuck.
just feet skeeve me out anyway. I'm just saying.
Oh, fuck's
That's the
sake.
first thing I thought. That's the first thing I thought. Where I'm like, maybe this serves like somewhat of a balance purpose, but like everything else, I feel like I use way more than that.
Right, okay. Now I've got to ask. That is just that's yeah. Fuck off.
I'm sorry, man. I'm weird, dude.
Right. So fuck me. So what's the most trouble that you have been in? Now, nothing illegal, nothing super illegal. Don't want the police come knocking on your door, SWAT teams and all that. I mean, it's America, so they like to shoot first. So
Oh yeah.
uh, don't want the police coming knocking at your door. What's the most
No, that
trouble
would
have
not
you
be
been in?
would not be fun. Uh, in what sense? Like, do you mean the most trouble I've been in? Like,
Nothing you can
like
get
what?
yourself indicted with by the law. Try and keep it
Mm,
family friendly. This is a family friendly show with this countless amounts of swearing.
the oh man, I'm trying to think. Like, the most trouble. I guess the most trouble I could have gotten in. Wait, are we relating this to like police trouble or like mentally trouble? Like,
You pick. Dealer's choice.
all right, well,
I have heard some messed up stories on here. A lot of people go, "Oh no, I'm a good boy. I'm pretty straight cut. I never done anything." And then 5 minutes later, hit out with the most ridiculous and or sickest story I've ever heard.
dude, I mean, I've gotten into a lot of stupid shit, man, growing up. I guess like I guess the closest I've ever this was like getting away with murder, not actually. Disclaimer. Um,
Dis- yeah, I'll put a
I
disclaimer up
drove
on the screen.
I drove. I'm not gonna say whose Challenger without a license,
Okay.
and um, we were doing donuts in a parking lot, and we got pulled up on by like five cops, and I didn't have a license, so they came up. And they're like, "Let me see your license," and I handed them my permit and something called a PBA card. So a PBA card is when you know someone in like the New York City Police Department.
Uh-huh.
You know somebody, so it's not a get out of jail free card, but it's like, how do you know this person? And I explained how I knew him, and the guy chopped it up and he said, "Get the fuck out of here," and I got away.
Fuck's sake.
Yeah,
A PBA card. I've never heard of that anything like that in my life.
it's actually wild, but you know, I never had a PBA card again. That was my one token gone.
Fuck's sake. That's
Yeah,
actually that's not as bad of a story as I thought it was going to be.
I'm trying to think, man. I've had like a lot of sticky situations, dude. I don't know. I don't know.
Fuck's sake. So what's the message out there that you want to give your fans if they're going to be listening to this or watching this, or if they've just got it playing on in the background whilst they're cleaning their kitchen or scrubbing their toilet? I don't know
You
why I
know,
said scrubbing their
I've
toilet, to be honest.
actually nah, man, you gotta scrub your toilet. If you don't, it's kind of a problem. Um, I've thought about this, or maybe it's a problem that I haven't thought about it as much as I should have. I do know that I feel that I'm meant to help people through certain parts of their life. Like I would listen. Hence, the whole reason I started writing the emo music was over a girl, and like the whole reason that I was listening to that, like emo music at the time, was because it was helping me with process my feelings at the time.
Mm,
It was nice to know, and this is a super. I know this is a generic answer, and it's what a lot of people say, but they like to relate to music and to lyrics. I do at least. So when I feel that I hear like certain lyrics and they're like pretty close to what I'm feeling, I feel like I guess a level of like comfort. So I want to be able to help people in that way. And there's another two things that I want my music to do. I want to let people know that I'm a firm believer that you truly can um do almost anything you set your mind to,
mhm.
and it's yourself holding you back. That's how I believe. I could be wrong, but I think that people put a lot of limitations in their brain, and they should invest in their knowledge first and foremost. I think it's super important. And the third thing is I'm not crazy about all these TikTok like punk artists that are coming out now.
I think
And
you were right the first time. Tick tarts. I think you were right the
TikTok,
first
yeah,
time.
TikTok,
The tick
yeah, whatever
tarts.
I said. And I want to bring back some like actually good like emo alti music. That's authentic and not a half-ass riff with autotune. To be honest with you.
Now, everybody, if you remember a couple of weeks ago when I had Mr. Ken Tucker on the show, we went into great lengths about our dislike of auto tune. And if you don't remember that conversation, I suggest you go back to that episode and check out our great length of how much we hate auto tune. It was a great little conversation I had there. So I think that unedited, that part of the conversation went on for a long while.
Oh
Unedited.
man. Let me just say that I've found this out while I was recording music, is that everyone does use autotune. Autotune's on everything. But when you sound autotune, it means you're not the best at singing. Besides like T-Pain, that guy has a great voice, but he just wanted to do that sound. But from what I've seen, like when you sound like robotic, it means you're not like um on pitch, right?
Mm,
But everyone uses autotune. It's just if you sound autotuned, you're not necessarily hitting the pitch perfectly. You know what I mean?
Pitch Perfect, great film by the way.
You
Love
know,
that
I've never
film.
seen that. Never
Really,
seen it.
I've seen all three. Great film. Plus,
Really?
yeah, I've seen all three. Great films.
Anna Kendrick's so hot. I
Oh
think that's
yeah.
her name.
Oh hell yeah.
So
Anyway, moving on before I get
sorry,
completely utterly
sorry,
distracted.
sorry.
Well, that happens sometimes on this show. It's fine.
Yeah, I could talk like for so long. I apologize, man.
Oh, it's all right. It's fine, honestly. So, what are your thoughts then? Obviously, with auto tune done, dusted, and out of the way, what are your thoughts on the music industry as it stands today?
Oh, so obviously I know that people blowing up right now, but I'm not saying gradually like gaining a fan base. I'm talking about like blowing up. I think it's like 95% of TikTok. I really
Mm,
do. And um I think the industry is changing drastically. Like I think there's going to be a big change with like Twitch and streaming, and people have to start utilizing that a little bit with the industry.
yeah,
Um a lot of social media, which, I'm like it's a little frustrating because I'm not crazy about social media, but it's like I have to use it.
I
If
know you're
you
not
if
crazy about social media.
I'm sorry. Look, if you're in the music industry today, like I don't think there's really any way around it besides if you happen to be the best ever and know somebody that can get you somewhere, and then someone else does your social media, you're gonna have to do social media. You
Yeah.
have to.
Right. Just to give
I think
everybody
it's
a little
super
heads
important.
up, though, do you know how much Nick actually hates social media? I'll give you a little clue, right? The date of this recording is
Oh
the
man,
11th of January, okay? Nick messaged me on the 2nd of November just to come on the show, and we had it all worked out. And it took him up until today, the date of this recording, the 11th of January, to actually come on the fucking show. That's how much he hates social media.
I'm sorry.
Although
Facebook is tough
part
for
of it
me.
is my fault as well because his message got lost in my personal inbox instead of my podcast show's inbox. It was in my
I'm
personal
so
inbox
sorry.
somewhere. So
I'm
part
so
of the issue
sorry.
is my fault, but mostly.
I'm so sorry. Um, you know what? To
Sorry for
sum it
calling
up,
you out there, but I had to.
dude, call me out, man. It's fine. It's necessary. I'm just saying. I think that today in like our day and age, unless if you're fucking Drake, you're not making money from streaming. So I think that people have to start utilizing like the vloggers like method, which is
Mm,
like clothing. Um, I think that that's super important, and like the streaming, like I was saying, like I think that I don't even know what touring with COVID, made touring like a crazy whole new, which is when people started doing live shows with streaming. So
yeah,
I don't know if that's going to be like integrated now into the whole touring thing. And I know that people were making money from shows, you know, on Twitch, which I was like, holy shit! I don't know how this is like possible, but
you
I
never know. It could be because there's a few artists and bands that I would love to see live that I know for either one they will never come over to the UK or two they couldn't because of restrictions and all of that. But I would love to see them live anyway. So I'd be more than happy to pay to see them stream a live show online.
Yeah, it's one I think that might be a big stepping, just like a big moving point in the industry. I think that might start to be a thing.
The only downside is
I
the
don't,
time zones, though. It's the only
yeah,
downside, time
true,
zones.
true. I'm sure they can schedule it where they, I don't know, like yeah, you're right. Then it wouldn't be live, huh?
Mm, yeah,
Well, maybe they could do times like a tour, like a virtual tour.
a virtual time
Where
zone tour.
that's what I'm saying. I mean,
Possible. I think we might be onto something here, Nick. I think we really might be onto something.
yeah, it's actually a crazy thought.
Yeah, it is a crazy thought. A time zone tour.
A time
Yeah,
zone tour,
a time zone
a
tour.
world, a world tour
The
that's
a
done in.
world time zone tour. There we go.
Yeah, world time zone tour that could be done in like 5 days.
I think I might know a couple of people who would be actually up for that challenge.
That's actually a crazy thought. That'd be crazy. I mean,
That
but
would,
it's possible. That's what I'm saying. It's anything's at your fingertips now. It's wild.
yeah,
But it's also the problem though, because so many people are trying to break through. So you
yeah.
have so many people that are really talented, but if you don't know how to market and everything has to line up, I just don't think that you could get to where you want to be. It's
It
so
could
many
it,
different. It's a business. It's a
it could be
business.
the next stage in this digital age that we are currently going in. I mean, VR headsets are going off like crazy at the moment. That whole thing, and obviously everyone is online. Well, not everyone, but near enough the whole world
Right.
is online. I mean, this show, for instance, is online, so you never know. That could actually be something in the near future. That is a massive possibility where actual physically performing is is still done to some regard,
Right.
but streamed online as well as being in front of a live audience.
Hell, it could be a great way for musicians to make money too, because they could get together for literally, I don't know, like a day or two, and do the songs in their damn practice space, and set it up like a live show, and they could play it at different times of the world and let people in at those certain times and
Mm.
make their money that way while
So
having a ton of time to do other stuff.
I was well, yeah, they could do it like that, but I was thinking like more of the long lines of like whilst they're doing a physical performance, having that physical performance live streamed as well, where you obviously you'd buy a ticket to
True.
watch it as you would go into a physical show to start with. So that way
Oh,
you
I
get
get what you're
you
saying.
so
Yes.
you'll be sitting on your couch, but you get the feeling that you're actually there because you can hear the crowd going wild. Although you'll need a hell of a good producer to whittle out some of the screams and profanities coming from the crowd enjoying the show
Right,
while
right,
you're
right.
trying to listen to the artists
Oh,
performing.
you're saying have a bunch of people in the same oh, like a
Yeah.
chat room.
Yeah, it's kind of like that. But so that you actually have the physical audience at the show, but the show is getting broadcast. You know, like a live, like how they do like the live ceremony shows and the live shows on TVs and all that.
So this is our first time meeting online, but it's a pleasure to know that we're both going to be millionaires together.
Fuck yes.
Yeah, this is sick. I mean,
Yeah.
that's smart, man.
Well, what can I say? I've got a great beard, great looks, and I've got great intelligence.
Dude,
Not
you
to
got
blow
it all,
my own
man.
trumpet.
Whole package.
Fuck yeah. Fuck yeah.
That is a great idea. I mean, but listen, seriously, I think that's that's the industry could be headed that way.
It
I don't
really,
know.
honestly, it really could mean the way things have been going. I honestly do think it could be going that way. I mean, obviously, as everyone knows, streaming services they don't pay out a hell of a lot. I mean, at last check, it was less than a penny per stream.
Let me. I don't even look at it. Like I haven't even. I just put in my head already. Maybe this is wrong of me, but I put in my head already. I'm not making money from streaming. I'm just not. So I have
Mm,
to figure out my other ways right now, or right now at least I'm not. I have to figure out the other ways, and I think for me right now with what I'm doing, it's having a brand.
yeah. Well, well, you need a brand to do
Hmm.
something to kind of stand out from everybody else, trying to stand out from all that competition that everybody trying to start up something new, trying to start up their own thing is always facing, is to have like some branded icon, some brand to distinguish
Yep,
themselves, to something that flashes out and hits people in the face. Go, look at me. This is what I offer.
100%.
Yeah.
Yep, it all ties into marketing. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. I know we're
I
going a
suck
little
at
off
market.
now.
I suck at
Yeah,
marketing. I mean, I don't even. I bet
marketing's tough.
I really suck at marketing. I really try. I try my best to market my show, but I really suck at it.
Dude, it's hard. It's really hard. Just because there's so many people. It's so funny because there's so many people online,
Mm,
but that's also like the curse.
yeah,
Like it's crazy. It's hard.
yeah.
It's really tough.
So then, whilst we're on this subject about like online shows and everybody being online, how do you feel that the internet has impacted the music industry, like for
I
better or for
think
worse?
so. Um, I think that it could be a great thing, but it could be a bad thing. Like it's great in the sense where, like we were just saying, you have the world at your fingertips, which is great. And I'm actually dealing with this right now because I happen to be in talks um with someone that's pretty high up in the industry, which is great. And again, this is great as well because I was doing. By the way, this is like all I do like every day, especially like leading up to like the first single release of my demise. I was just constantly searching, which I wouldn't have been able to do without the internet, of course.
Yeah,
Like constantly searching for different ways to get, sneak my way into the higher ups in the industry.
by getting
Um,
yourself on interviews and podcasts and all that,
right,
where you have to
right.
wait months and months and months for you to reply.
All right. Are we done?
Patiently waiting by my phone, going, "Why is this guy not messaging me back yet?" The message definitely has been delivered. I can see the tick. I can see the icon. It's been delivered, but he's not seen it
Oh
yet.
man.
Okay,
Oh
I'll
man.
leave it a week, and then I'll check. Still nothing. Still nothing. Oh, I guess he's forgot. Okay, I'll just move on. Oh, hello, a message. Fuck me. 3 months later.
Was it really 3 months?
November, December. No, yeah, three
Yeah.
months. Yeah.
I'm horrible, man. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. It's so
I had
honestly, it's
to.
so
You
inconsiderate of
gave
me,
me the
dude.
opportunity. You gave me the opportunity there. I had to fucking go for it.
No, it makes sense. Damn. No, yeah, I really do apologize for that. I feel so bad.
Not to make you out to be a dick, but you're a dick.
No, I know, I suck, I do. I'm, like, not a good person.
It's all right.
Um,
It's all right. Neither am I.
I'll try to make up for it because I just realized this is a good answer where it gives the pros and the cons of the internet.
Hmm.
So the pro is that, I was able to get in contact with this guy and start working with this guy, which is fantastic. Because I don't know how I would have done it otherwise,
Yeah.
with how it was, and you had to just kind of, it's not like, I don't think it's like the movies anymore where people are at shows, and it very well could be, and I just don't know. But from what I've seen, it's very uncommon where people are just at shows and they're like, I like that band, I want to sign. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
so the internet's good in the sense where if you're smart enough and you know how to market yourself, then you know, and you make sure everything is great, you could eventually get to people, I think, a lot easier that could help propel you to get you to where you want to be. But the con of the internet, and like with TikTok, for example, too, that one more pro is like, you know, you could potentially, and it's happened to like Olivia Rodrigo, like just blow up. Like your song just is used behind some, silly trend, and bam, like,
I
you
have
start
no
getting a
idea
crazy
who
amount of
that
streams.
is. I have
Oh,
no
well,
idea who
she's
that is.
she's pretty she's big in America.
Right.
She's
Okay.
she's she's really big actually. Like she actually got a lawsuit from fucking Paramore because she sounded too much like one of their songs. Like this is what I'm saying, where these artists are trying to sound like these bands, but they're literally like ripping shit. It's crazy.
Mm,
So she's really big here, and it was just from TikTok.
right.
Um, but the con, and this is what I'm dealing with now with my dude. He's like, these people would probably love your stuff, and I know these people, and I'll, I can show them your stuff, but they're gonna say, come back when you have more numbers. But to get more numbers now with the internet, it's a lot of fucking marketing money.
It's
You
a
know,
lot of marketing money. Yeah.
it's a lot of marketing money. Think about it, because these are what all these big labels do. They have all this money to push these people in front of your face, where essentially you have to be your own label
Yeah.
with a lot less money. So you got to be
A
way more
hell of a lot
creative.
there. Yeah.
You know, so it's bad in that sense, I would say, where you have the people at your fingertips, but to get through now, you have to market, and unfortunately, I think now, unless if you're the 1 in 1 million, you have to use marketing money.
Yeah. So, what would be like if there was anything about the music industry as it stands today that you had the power to change? What would it be and why?
Hmm. I would, I would, I'm gonna sound like a nut job, but I think I would change a lot. I would just probably, I wish that it was kind of more that people still listen to like albums and listen to. I'm trying to think of the right way to word this. I'm not great with my words on the dot. So or on the spot. I mean, see. Um, I guess what I would change is I wish that it was still more in person and people still. I'm not sure how it is over there,
Yeah.
but there's not a ton of local shows over here anymore from what I've seen. And maybe it's just my scene where I am, I'm in New York City. I don't see a ton of like local show. It's like people go out clubbing now where I am, or the scene where I am. Whereas I feel like back in like the 80s and 70s, like people would go to shows on like a Friday or a
Yeah.
Saturday, and it'd be like local bands. It wasn't like, obviously people still go to see big bands around me, but I don't see like a lot of people going to like local shows or anything anymore. I wish that was kind of still a thing. Maybe
See,
it is over there in other places,
I
but
think that is kind of territorial. I think that's the right word, the right phrasing
yeah,
for this.
that's what I'm saying. It's probably
Territorial,
territorial.
because over here, yes, local live music is still a good thing, still a big thing. There's a
I
lot of
wish, man.
venues up and down England and Scotland and Wales that play live local music every single weekend. And I know from
Wow.
talking with previous guests from Canada and America, Honduras and Vietnam, that there are a lot of shows, that a lot of venues that play local music, that have local acts play, and So maybe it is territorial depending on what part of the country you're in
For
as to
sure.
why it's not. But I know for a fact from talking with other people that they play a lot of local shows in their local area.
Dude, I wish. I mean, like, yeah, no, you're absolutely right. I would say it's definitely territorial. That's what I was like trying to get at with like where I was saying like where I'm from, because I'm sure
Yeah.
there are in other places, like a lot of places that have live local shows. Like, don't get me wrong, we have local shows here. Like when I was in the metal band, I probably played, I don't know how many shows I played, but we were playing a lot. But it wasn't like there were like a lot of people coming out. And maybe that was the genre I was in. And that
Mm.
scene isn't giant anymore. So that's also a giant part of it.
It's
But
sorry, the scene isn't what anymore?
what did I say?
I don't know. What did you say? That
I
the scene is
don't
in
remember.
Gying or Giant?
Giant.
Oh, Giant. I thought it was like
Yeah,
some
yeah, yeah,
New
yeah.
New York slang term I was unfamiliar with that
No,
you
yeah,
said.
giant.
What
That's what
did
I'm
you
gonna start
think?
saying.
Huh? He had
Giant.
no idea either.
Yeah, giant. I'm mumble,
Giant,
dude.
right. Right. No, no
Um,
problem. Hashtag fuck mumble
yeah,
rap.
fuck
So
mumble rap.
I had to get that in there.
No, it's all right, dude. I was on that way for such a long time where it's like I went away to school too, and it was all kids listen to. I'm like, how the fuck do you like? I'm sorry, like I'm just not afraid to say what I say anymore. Like I just don't get it. I don't get it. I
I
just
don't
don't get it.
understand the whole thing behind mumble rap. I mean, as I've said many times on most of the previous shows, when I listen to music, I'm kind of old school. I want to hear the message. I want to hear the lyrics. I want to, you know, feel part of the story that's being told in the song.
I'm the
Not
same way, and
not go bruh, 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 rap. Bruh, 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 bruh. Fuck off, you
it's
twat.
so funny because I contradict myself so bad when I say that because I've always said that, and I'm like, oh, I was also going like into a mic.
Thing is though, with heavy metal and shit, I can understand it.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, I can understand it. When you actually sit down and listen to the
right.
song, you can actually understand what they're saying. I mean, the
I
scream
agree.
part, yeah, you that kind of throws you off a little bit, but the actual like the verses and the choruses, when you actually sit down and listen to
Right.
like heavy metal, you can actually hear the message, and the message is usually a hell of a lot deeper than
That's what I
you
was.
are led to
That's also I was
believe.
gonna say.
Than
I
you're
was
led to
also gonna
believe in the
say that.
title song,
Yeah,
like
for
a
sure.
River of Corpses title, for instance, and it's like and it's a love story between Romeo and Juliet, but you never would have got guessed that from the title
You're
unless you
absolutely
sat down and listened to it.
you're so right. You're so right. I was gonna say that's the difference because I don't know with like the metal. I'll tell you, man, metal has some of the even over the emo shit. I get different feelings with metal that I don't get with the emo stuff. Like, for instance, I don't know if you know Parkway Drive. You ever hear of them?
I've heard of the name, but I don't think I've heard the music.
I think they have the deepest, most gutting lyrics ever, and it's a different kind of sad than the emo sad. That
Mm,
make any sense? Like that's like
slightly, yeah, a little bit.
so I have emo sad that's like kind of comforting, and I just want to feel like like I'm having a down. A girl made me feel crappy, but like if I'm
Uh-huh.
actually feeling like upset and like like I happen to be like depressed at a certain part of my life, like I'll put on Parkway because the lyrics are like fucking like heavy sad. I don't
Yeah.
know how to explain it. It's just like heavy emotion rather than just like, "Oh, I'm feeling emotional."
No, I get
I don't know.
no, I get that because a lot of the music that I listen to, it kind of some of it I put on my headphones when I'm on my way to work, to and from work. Just put on my headphones, just put my playlist on, and I just listen. But if I'm in a certain mood, there would only be a certain couple of songs that I'll listen to by a certain couple of artists
I'm
because
the
they're
same way, dude.
if I'm a bit down, I wanted something to kind of resonate on that. So I'll listen to that sort of music. If I feel a little bit happy and I want to boost it up, I'll listen to songs by that will like enhance my happiness. So yeah, I
Exactly,
understand.
man.
I understand where you're coming from. I mean,
Yeah,
yeah, and that's what I mean about songs with a story behind it, because you can actually hear the story, you listen and you resonate,
exactly.
and it infects your soul. As I don't think I've used that term ever before in this show. It infects your soul.
Infectious
So
soul. I like
yeah,
that.
yeah. So I don't think I've ever used that saying on this show before. So that's a new one for me.
That's a good one. Write it down in the notebook.
I will. I will write that one down, I think.
That's a good one.
And speaking of music and all that, as everybody, I'm sure you are aware, A Wee Touch of Madness, the podcast, has recently, a couple of weeks ago, released its official podcast guest list playlist on Spotify. So every single week it gets updated with the guest music of that I've had on previous guests and the current week's on the current week guests. It gets all that music there. So if you want to take a listen to Over the Moon, if you want to take a listen to Ken Tucker, if you want to take a listen to Natty Snaps, Big Q, it's all there on that playlist. Everyone's music updated every single week, and at the moment it's standing at like 3.5 hours long or something like that.
Wow. Wow.
Of 3.5 hours long of all the music from all of my guests so far. So if you want to take a listen, I'll have the link to that down in the description, so you can definitely check out. And I highly recommend that you do help all these guys out, get their streaming numbers up. And
That's
also, as
awesome,
an
man.
FYI, as I mentioned in a previous episode, from the date of that recording, from the 30th of January, every single one of my episodes are going to be available on Spotify very soon, from the 30th of January. Every single episode from season one all the way up to halfway through season three, where we are now. Every single episode. So if there's one that you didn't catch, that you just want to listen to but not watch the video, it will be up on Spotify very, very soon. So make sure you stalk my social media, because there will be posts letting everybody know when they are available. So, Nick, I only have maybe one, maybe two more questions for you, and then I can let you go on your merry, merry, merry way.
Thank you very much.
You're very welcome. So, my first question for you is: are you ready for this? Now,
Born.
have you done any interviews before, like any other interviews before, any other podcasts before this show? This isn't a
I
question I'm
did.
just genuinely asking.
Oh, I did one with this guy from Virginia with my drummer in my metal band about like 2 years ago. But that was
Hmm.
it.
Do you have any other interviews and other podcasts lined up ready, or have you kept them on the back burner for months at end as well?
Backburn month on end, actually.
All right,
Yeah, no, I got one more. Actually two that wanna have me, but we haven't come up with like actual dates yet.
right. Well, this question that I'm going to ask you is an incredibly important question, and I know, I know for a fact, and I'm pretty sure my viewers, my listeners, they know for a fact as well, that this question is so incredibly important that you're going to kick yourself going, why has no one asked me this question before? Or on your next lot of podcasts and interviews that you do, go, why wouldn't they ask me that question? That Loz from We Touch on Madness, he was right. This was an incredibly important question. Why don't they ask me it?
All right, this has to be the silly one that you're gonna ask. I'm sorry to
what,
spoil it.
what gave it away? What
I,
gave it
I,
away?
I, I don't know. I just know. I don't know.
Well, fuck you. Do you sing in the
I'm
shower? And
sorry.
if you
I'm
do, what do you
sorry.
sing? You utter prick. You ruined it. You ruined that whole thing for me.
I'm
Man,
so sorry,
you've
man.
definitely watched my shows before. You fucking ruined that whole thing for me.
Dude, I haven't. No offense. Since we talked, I haven't watched it. Like since I messaged you about it. I'm a prick. I've been busy, man.
You're right. You are an utter prick.
I know. I'm well aware. I'll admit it. Um, do I sing in the shower? Yes, I do for sure. I've even had. I had recently. I was practicing screaming in the shower,
Oh, for
and
fuck's sake. I bet the
I
fucking
hear
neighbors are complaining a
I
bit.
hear a knock on my door, and my dad's like, "What the fuck? Are you okay?" I'm like, I'm like, I'm fine. I'm fine. Nah, but it varies, man. I don't know. It really does vary. I do practice like the gargoyle screaming just because it's fun in the shower. And then I also go like Paramore is probably I think my favorite band of all time. So I will try to hit like some Haley notes to practice my range.
fuck's fair enough. Well, have you had fun doing this with me? With me with the. Let me try that bit again. Have you had fun doing this with me today?
It's been an absolute blast, man. I really appreciate you having me on. You're a very good host.
Oh, thank you very much, and it's my pleasure. Would you like to come back on later on down the line?
Absolutely, no question about it.
Make me wait another 3 months?
No, dude, I will be on my Facebook messaging game. You opened my eyes actually to it. How bad I am at Facebook.
Oh, really? By calling you out on it a couple of times.
Yeah, straight up. I needed that.
And now when this episode is public and everybody can see it, they can see that shock and horror in your face, and then they can get you on your Facebook messaging replying skills game going, Nick, why the fuck haven't you responded to my message? Don't make me wait 3 months.
I was gonna say you will probably not reach me there. I'm being honest. So you can go ahead, but it may be a lonely couple months in the message box.
That's fine. I can wait.
I gotta get like your number, man. I'm shitty at texting too. Who am I kidding? No good.
Oh, fucking hell. Right, I'm going to do the sign off in a sec. So once I've done the sign off, don't leave the conversation
Sure,
straight away. So be a couple more things I need to go through with you. I should have mentioned all this before I started recording. But
dude. No
yeah.
worries.
Well, that was Nick from Over the Moon, everybody. Let us know what you thought of this episode by putting it down into the comments. And now, as you just heard there, Nick would love to come back on the show later on down the line. So if you at home have any questions you want to ask him, just remember it is the exact same rules for every single guest, regardless of who they are. The most weirdest, the most messed up, the most fucked up question you could think of. I want to know. Put it down in the comments. Let's ask Nick. And he claims that it's impossible to make him uncomfortable. Let's try and prove this motherfucker wrong, shall we?
Yeah, it would be very, very, very hard, man. Hit me with your best shot.
Hit me with your best shot. Sorry.
Nah, nah, nah. So
Kinda-
good. I was into it.
Fuck's sake. So that was Nick, everybody. Let us know what you think of the show, what you thought of this episode by putting it down in the comments, and make sure you stay tuned next week for a brand new episode with a brand new guest. And as always, it's been me, Loz, from A Wee Touch of Madness, and I will catch you all later.